Welcome to Warblog. Today I'm having a look at this No Road to Melitopol. It's actually 20th of August 23. This is when the Ukrainian forces were we're doing nothing here. They managed to take out a bit of this space, and that was their total thing. The whole point of this is because throughout this whole time, I'm way behind on games, so I have to apologise for that. So much, it's so on my mind. You know, all these things that are happening, even in other areas, you know, battles, and I haven't done it, and it's just, I don't know, I spend a lot of time asleep. Anyway, that's irrelevant. But I looked at this South Front thing. Let's see if I can get it on the screen. This smoke. I mean, the point is, every time I was playing this, virtually, and I know it might not have been absolutely every time, but throughout, I was saying that what they're doing is just rubbish. If I was doing it, it would just be smoke. And I'm still sitting here thinking, how can I get smoke? I was thinking I could do smoke. It'd be one, two, it'd be three, or something like that. So you could either do down that way or down that way. So, you know, so they could lay smoke down there. You could lay smoke down there. You can lay smoke down there. You lay smoke, and in the smoke, basically, you can't see anything. And I don't know how to do it, but I've been motivated to sort of, you know, I was thinking, because here, look, they're laying smoke. This is quite incredible. Look at all that smoke. They can do it. It's doable. Because I was thinking in the back of my mind, oh, people are sort of saying, oh, it can't be doable. It's not doable because, you know, smoke discharges, you know, they don't have that capacity. But I can remember, I can memorably remember looking up, looking up military grade smoke discharges, and they have vehicles. They're just like trucks. This is like a one truck, and they've got like a thing on the back of them. Just they're pulling some sort of device. It's a smoke generator. So here we can see they've at least got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. If that's 12 or 13 smoke discharges, and this is probably a road. They've all pulled up along this road and then set these discharges off, and the whole thing is sort of covered in smoke. Why didn't the Ukrainians do this when they were fighting here? You know, they set a couple of tanks in, and I kept saying that, and it seems like a fairly retarded thing to get all sort of, I don't know, het up about, but it seems to me that they didn't want to win. You know, that's the thing. It shouldn't be just a one-off. It shouldn't be, oh, they did it here. Smoke should have been like, you know, every day. You know, the thing is, the Ukrainians had, I don't know how much it was, but I got the feeling somewhere I read that it was like 3 times the annual budget of Russia in 1 year. You know, they had everything given to them, and they just pissed it up against the wall with, you know, oh, well, we're doing precision strikes. You know, I always said, you know, big carpet bombing things, and then the Russians have got their 3-ton fab bombs going in, and it says it here. It says it in this article. Rare footage of the front line showed a military using special aerosol screen in the battle front, several kilometers. The large screen of several kilometers was reportedly spotted on the northern Donbass front line. You know, there's another one here. Well, let's just read it through. The screen is not poisonous. Oh, it's environmentally friendly. That's really good. Just like bombs and things. It is aimed to hide movement of Russian troops and Ukrainian reconnaissance. Oh, I don't know what I'm talking about. The smoke covers the Russian assault groups and allows them to approach Ukrainian military positions near the settlement. Thanks to the smoke, Russian assault managed to launch attacks at a close distance. Really, that's what, because oh, it's just stupid, isn't it? I mean, that's the whole point of smoke. But the thing is, I was saying that, you know, because by the time they know what's in front of them, they're on top of them, and you choose your point. You know, if you've got 20 tanks going up against a trench with 5 people in it, you're going to take the trench. You know, what they were doing before, they were just being blown up before they even got there. And take control of several Ukrainian strongholds located. It says it somewhere here. The battle for the village of Belogrovka has been ongoing for a long time after the Russian military took control of the local chalk plant. Somewhere in here it says there were, but I think it was somewhere else. They said they were basically blowing up all the strong points with very large bombs. But if you look here, I commented on this and it got immediately deleted. I think I'm just too clever for them. Oh, go away. I think this is it. It's actually in The Guardian, actually. It just, I've got the Battle of Chazovnar. But look, they've basically breached along this. I'm actually going to pause this because there is a thing in The Guardian that makes this look a lot clearer. Yes, I just found it. So Russian forces make significant gains in eastern Ukraine, and that's strange, isn't it? Really, coming from Western media that are admitting this. And the thing is, there's no comparison. There's no sort of like you know, in contrast to the Ukrainian spring offensive, etc., etc. I've read some of this. It says Russian forces have made significant advances in a narrow corridor. Let's just get to the map because this is what's. Look at that. That is basically the principle of mobile mobile warfare. You know, doing something, a breach. I'm not sure how this works, and I'm not sure whether or not that smoke screen is here, but you know, the 2nd of April, 13th of April, and then suddenly this sort of thing coming out here, and it's not as prominent here. But you know, when you consider, it's just too much for me to keep up with. You know, if I was full time, I'd be just on top of this. But I got other things, other things to do, and important naps to have. I nap. But the thing is, if they'd sort of done that here, they could have actually just bombed, big massive bombs, 3-ton bombs, bomb, 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 massive smoke screen, and just poured like 10,000 men through with 600 armoured fighting vehicles and just every other mobile thing just pouring in through this gap, infiltrating through here and just going right down to Melitopol. You know, I mean, there should have been air inserts here. I've done this game about 3 times. I'm not going to take this video much further. It was really the whole point. I'm going to call it smoke, 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 because the whole point of this, you know, every time I play this game, I think I land the special forces down here. You know, the Ukrainians could have laid smoke. Let's just look at this smoke. There's not much of it. And I was thinking, well, and oh, it's just also frustrating, really, because someone sent me, some sort of spammer sent me a screenshot of the last game I uploaded, and they're saying your videos are really fantastic. What you need is some social media marketing to really bring, you know, your stuff to the forefront. And he had a screenshot showing my last video. And he's saying, for example, here, your video only has 1 view. You deserve so much more than that. And there's another one. This video has 3 views. No one watches my videos. And, well, so what? But the thing is, so, you know, I'm not I'm just talking to myself, really. But again and again and again, I was saying, why don't they use smoke? And it's one of those things I wish I'd said it more often because I haven't looked. And you probably think, oh, I only really thought it a lot and I didn't say it a lot, but I'm pretty sure I said it a lot. And I'm pretty sure I talked about the difficulties of laying smoke in the game. And I felt today, I thought I could just gonna get up and just put in smoke as a function, but my mind is just a big jello mass. I'm not sure I could do it. Not immediately. Anyway, I need to sit down at a weekend and think, right, I'm going to do this. But look at that smoke. And what more can be said? You know, I mean, you can even see it from way up there. Look at that. I mean, look, what is this over here? Look, is that not more smoke over there, or is that the lake? But so there we have it, really. And my question really would be, because the thing is, I keep thinking about this, and I'm thinking, well, a bit like Desert Storm, they had the perfect opportunity to create this sort of master plan. I keep mentioning Ichon, the master plan, the act of genius, the tenacity of D-Day. I mean, it was just like the limpest waste of human life you could possibly imagine. It's got to go down in history as the worst offensive in the history of military warfare. The Ukrainian spring and summer offensive. I mean, even the Russians have got the gameplay here. This smoke. I mean, it just leaves me flabbergasted. I was just sitting here looking at it, and I was thinking, what is so difficult about that? They got 12 smoke discharges. I mean, they've just passed a $62 billion spending plan, and you would have thought that they might invest in quite a lot of smoke discharges so that everything that they did was covered by smoke. Because whilst you can get infrared, optics, there's going to be a lot of limitations because your forward observation officers, your spotters, won't be able to spot things, so they won't be able to guide these things into place. So I just thought I'd do this video. I could just sit here ranting and going on about smoke for forever, really. It's only a 15-second video. Look at that. You got that strategic mass of smoke. You've got, what's this, sort of like indirect area smoke discharges, and obviously I can't find the bit that talks about the I mean, the thing is, when people like the Guardian start saying that the Russian forces made significant gains, because they were talking about all these gains earlier that you can see in some of these other things. Let's just take this sort of map. Oh God. So this is sort of the thing, and look at all that stuff happening. That's a scenario. Oh God. But they were sort of, oh, this here, oh, this is not a gain, this is not a gain. They were sort of saying, oh, they're making tiny gains, or they're making small, incremental, insignificant gains, but they're not. I mean, to start off with, in this one, you can see that was the 2nd of April. I mean, that's still this month. This is 20 days later. They've taken all of that. If you add all of that up, I'm sure it's a lot more than the Ukrainians took in their spring offensive. And they were sort of, oh, we're taking it field by field. And even thinking about it field by field, there should have been no thoughts of field by field. It should have been, they should have had one blast, one glorious smoke-covered major offensive that left enough reserves to form a defence if it failed, but would have been glory to the Ukrainian forces forevermore, whether or not it worked or not, instead of that just little bit by bit pissing against the wall. So I leave it at that anyway, because I probably sound mad. Look at that, Ukraine, because I can't read properly. Ukrainians Eastern Military Command said 20 to 25,000 enemy troops are trying to storm the hilltop town and surrounding districts. This is a proper war. This is the first proper offensive. There's going to be a book written sometime, and it will talk about the offensives. I mean, it will refer to the spring offensive as the lame dick offensive, when nothing happened. And yet this is, 20 to 25 people, 20, 25,000. That is it. The Ukrainian ones were 20 to 25 people because they wanted to limit losses. Well, here, 20 to 25,000 enemy troops are trying to storm the hilltop town and surrounding districts. The Kremlin wants to capture it by the 9th of May, the date when the Russians mark Soviet Victory Day in the Second World War. I'm pretty sure it says it somewhere in here that they were basically blowing up big entrenchments with their sort of like, their million-ton bombs. Moscow's defense ministry claimed Ukrainian troops fled Okhotyn in small groups and under heavy fire. Videos show a destroyed administration building with its windows blown out and its streets full of debris. Yeah. Yeah, this is it. This is the bit I read. This is the one thing I did sort of want to read. It's obviously in the first paragraph because I don't read much more than the first paragraph ever anyway. But it says there, look, let's read the whole thing. The Ukrainian army retreated from Advika in February and has been it routed from Advika in February and has been trying to establish a new defensive line in settlements along the Derna River. But in recent weeks, reinforced Russian units have been pushing forward using air-launched glide bombs to pulverize Ukrainian bunkers. Pulverize, it's a good choice of the word from The Guardian, because this is not what the Ukrainian spring offensive did. They used precision weapons to do what? Nothing. I don't know what they were doing. Their precision weapons are usually quite small, on the MLRS type sort of thing, good for blowing up, say, a particular ammo dump or a bridge or something like that. But when you want to take out a bunker or a fortified position, large glide bombs that can be launched 25 kilometers away or something like that, are pretty much sort of what the doctor ordered. But they didn't do any of that. So anyway, I've got to go now because it's just a rant, isn't it? But I wanted to do it. I'm a bit awake now. I wanted to do it before I sort of passed on because let's just finish off with. It's easy to talk crap on the internet, isn't it? But there it is, smoke. The big question is, why did the Ukrainians never do this? Well, I mean, maybe they did. Why did they never do? This is what I'm pointing with my hands wildly now. Why did the Ukrainians never have, I mean, it's not the only thing, but obviously smoke, it seems like a no-brainer start to a big operation. Why did they have nothing that involved 20 to 25,000 people storming a particular position to create a strategic advantage at any particular time? The thing is, at the very least, I would say there's a lot of questions that need to be answered, and it just seems to me that the Russians now are just laughing. If that's the worst that the best minds of the United States and the UK and all its pals could offer the Ukrainians last year, when they had absolutely everything. The spring offensive hasn't really even started for the Russians. We're only in April. I guess this could be the beginning or the start of it, but this is what you would have expected to have seen this time last year from the Ukrainians. You would have expected them to make a major significant breakthrough, and to do it properly, to make that breakthrough by pulverizing all of the advanced positions with massive bombs. Instead of sort of like, trying to go up on their electric scooters, jump into the trenches and find they're full of mines. There's gross incompetence on the behalf of the Ukrainian high command, at the very least. And what we're going to see over the next few weeks, who knows? But I would not be surprised if there was not more of this sort of like, military strategy actually being applied to, to Russia's advantage. And Ukraine has nobody but itself to blame, really. And it's not about being on one side or the other. It's about, you've got all these tanks, and you've got you've got military simulation systems available to you that you could have used. And that's it. I've got to go now. 20 minutes. I'll speak to you later. Cheerio.